Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. This week, we're tackling Between the Algorithm and the Abyss, a manifesto for the unautomated soul by Roll Smelt.
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
It's really quite something.
Yeah.
He really captures that feeling of like digital age anxiety, but then he sort of turns it into this call to action.
It is. Yeah, he kind of throws us right in there right from the start
Yeah.
with that story about the AI, the one that's supposed to be writing weather reports.
Mhm.
And it ends up spitting out a haiku about the soul weathering a storm.
I know, right? It's such a powerful image. We're all striving for this technological utopia, where everything's perfectly optimized, everything's running smoothly and efficiently. And then out of nowhere, the machine hits us with a haiku about the soul. What do you think he's trying to say there?
I think it's about this tension, between our desire for all this technological advancement and then our very human need for things that you just can't quantify, like the haiku. It's a reminder that even with the most advanced tech, there's always that spark of the unexpected, something you can't program or predict.
It's like a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
But it reveals something profound about what it means to be human. And that kind of leads us into one of Smelt's big ideas, these soma tools. He gets it from Huxley's Brave New World, of course,
Right.
where they have that drug called soma that numbs them to discomfort,
Right.
all the unpleasant emotions.
Exactly. And Smelt's point is that in our digital world, it's technology that's become our soma.
Oh, interesting.
Like all those productivity apps that make you feel bad for taking a break, or, I don't know, those curated playlists that take away the joy of discovering new music.
Oh, yeah,
All that convenience and efficiency, but at what cost?
Right. Like we're trading in serendipity for this super curated, algorithmically optimized experience. But where does that leave room for all the messy, unpredictable parts of ourselves? The parts that want spontaneity,
Yeah.
that thrive on challenge, even a little bit of discomfort.
That's exactly it. That's Smelt's whole argument. He's asking us to take a look at the soma tools in our own lives and figure out if they're really serving us, or, maybe subtly kind of chipping away at our ability to really experience things. He even says these tools can numb us to the thrill of discovery.
A thrill of discover.
Which is a really interesting point. Think about it. When was the last time you really let yourself get lost? I mean, really delightfully lost, whether it was wandering around a new city without using a map or stumbling on some amazing book tucked away in a corner of the library.
That's such a good point. I remember that feeling of finding a new band.
Yeah.
Or a musician.
Yeah.
Back when you had to actually dig through crates of records.
Yeah.
Or, rely on someone to tell you about them.
Right.
Now algorithms just handpick everything for us. Which, yeah, it can be efficient. But it does kind of take away some of the magic.
Absolutely. And what's even worse is this tyranny of metrics. We're always measuring and optimizing every single part of our lives, like our work output, how much we sleep. But are we actually living better lives because of it?
That's the question, isn't it? And that's what Smelt's wrestling with throughout the whole book. I mean, he's not anti-technology or anything. In fact, he talks about how he uses AI for his own coding and writing. But he really wants us to be aware of the trade-offs we're making, when we embrace these tools so readily.
He wants us to question this whole idea, that constant progress and optimization are actually leading us to a more meaningful life. And if not, what are we missing? What parts of ourselves are we sacrificing? All for the sake of efficiency and convenience.
It's kind of like we're losing ourselves a bit.
Yeah, and it's not like Smelt just leaves us hanging there, worrying about the dangers of technology. He gives us some ideas for how to move forward, a way to reclaim our unautomated souls, as he puts it.
I like that. Unautomated souls.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Well, one of his key ideas is this concept of sacred inefficiency.
Sacred inefficiency.
Yeah, it's basically choosing to do things the less efficient way, the less optimized way.
Yeah.
Not because we're lazy, but because it opens us up to a different way of being.
That's interesting. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, though, especially in our culture where everything has to be so hyper-efficient and always on. So what would sacred inefficiency actually look like?
Well, think about something like cooking a meal from scratch. I mean, sure, it's way easier to just order takeout or microwave a frozen dinner, but there's something about the process of chopping vegetables, stirring sauces, really creating something with your own hands.
Right.
It takes more time and effort, obviously.
Yeah.
But it also connects you to the food in a way that just popping something prepackaged in the microwave can't.
I see what you mean. It's about slowing down, savoring the process, finding that joy again, and things that we've outsourced to algorithms and instant gratification. Even talks about ditching the GPS sometimes, and getting deliberately lost. What's that all about?
I think he's saying that we need to be more open to uncertainty, to the unexpected. When we depend on technology to tell us where to go every second of the day, we miss out on all those opportunities for serendipity, for discovering something new. Remember that feeling of getting lost as a kid, that sense of adventure?
Yeah.
Smelt wants us to get some of that back.
It's like he's saying we need to just let go a little
Yeah.
and let life surprise us. And this idea of embracing the unexpected isn't just for our personal lives, right? Smelt also talks about bringing this sacred inefficiency into the tech world.
Exactly. He says we need to start building cathedrals, not factories, in the digital space.
Cathedrals, not factories.
Imagine social media platforms that encourage actual thoughtful dialogue, deep connection, instead of just feeding us these little bits of content designed to keep us scrolling. Or AI that helps us tap into our creativity. Explore our inner world, instead of just focusing on optimizing our productivity.
It's pretty different from the way most tech works now, where it's all about efficiency and engagement above everything else.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what we need right now. We're craving those spaces for genuine connection and meaning online, not just another quick hit of dopamine.
And that brings us back to Smelt's metaphor of fire. He sees it as a symbol of that raw, untamed energy that drives our creativity, our passion, our meaning-making. It's this force that can't be controlled or contained, and it's something we have to nurture, both within ourselves and in the technology we create.
So we've gotten so caught up in the cold, hard logic of algorithms that we've forgotten about that fire within us.
Exactly.
He's calling for a rebalancing, a recognition that our humanity isn't about optimizing and perfecting. It's about our passion, our spontaneity, our connection.
And that fire isn't something you can just summon whenever you want it. It needs space to breathe, to flicker and grow. That's why Smelt says we need to make time for irrational acts, things that don't make sense from a purely logical standpoint. But they feed our souls in a way that technology can't.
Like what kind of things?
Spending an afternoon just watching the clouds with someone you care about, or getting lost in a piece of music that really moves you. Those are the moments where we connect with that fire. That sense of wonder and awe that makes us feel truly alive.
I love that.
And the interesting thing is, Smelt isn't just talking about these big, grand gestures. He says we can find those sparks of fire in the everyday stuff, too.
Really?
Yeah, like taking a walk without any destination in mind, or having a conversation with a stranger that goes off on all these tangents, or just letting yourself daydream without judging yourself for it. These little acts can be really powerful in helping us reconnect with those unautomated parts of ourselves.
It's like he's giving us permission to just step off the treadmill for a bit.
Yeah.
And rediscover the beauty in the unscripted, the unoptimized, the unexpected. And isn't that what really makes life worth living?
Absolutely.
It's funny, thinking about how we ended up here. Like, we're actually having to fight to reclaim our unautomated souls. It's like all this technology was supposed to make things easier, but somehow we've forgotten how to really connect with the world around us.
Yeah, it is kind of ironic. I mean, we build these amazing tools, but they've also made us more passive in a way.
More reliant on external forces
Yeah.
to give us our experiences.
Exactly.
Smelt has this really good metaphor for this. He talks about the difference between a factory and a cathedral.
Oh, yeah. When you think about technology, the
Right.
factory model is all about output and efficiency.
Predictability.
Yeah. Streamline the process, maximize production, minimize waste. It's how so much of our technology works now.
Just keep us consuming, clicking, engaging. But the cathedral model,
Yeah.
like Smelt talks about it,
Yeah.
it's about creating something beautiful and lasting, something with awe, craftsmanship, artistry, a sense of the sacred.
And I think that's the shift Smelt wants us to make in how we see technology.
So instead of just asking, is this tool making my life easier? We should be asking,
Yeah.
is this tool helping me build a cathedral in my life?
Or is it just turning out more widgets?
I love that. It really gets at the heart of it all. You know what it means to live a meaningful life, even in this digital age. Because if we're not careful, we're going to get swept up in all this optimizing and efficiency and lose sight of the things that matter.
Yeah, we need some guidance for navigating this.
And luckily, Smelt gives us some.
He does.
He talks about hacking our soma tools, finding ways to use them more intentionally.
Conscious.
So instead of letting social media decide what we see, we make a choice to seek out different viewpoints and engage in conversations that matter.
Right. And he talks about seeking holy friction, too.
Yeah.
Which is basically just choosing the less efficient option.
Because it's more rewarding in the end.
Yeah, like taking a walk without your phone, or reading a physical book instead of on a screen.
It's about making space for those irrational acts, the things that nourish our souls. and remind us what it means to be human.
Like writing a letter by hand, spending the afternoon in the garden. We're just sitting in silence and letting your mind wander.
It sounds so simple.
It is. But Smelt says these little acts of defiance against all this efficiency can make a huge difference. They help us get back in touch with our creativity, our sense of wonder, our ability to really connect with others.
As we're wrapping up this deep dive into Smelt's work, I think the big takeaway is it's not about rejecting technology. It's about using it in a way that's thoughtful, intentional, humane. Like Smelt says, we are not here to be perfected. We are here to be astonished. Let your tools remember that.
Such a great line.
It really is. And it's a good reminder for all of us as we navigate this crazy digital world. So next time you're using any kind of technology, ask yourself, is this tool making my life better? Or is it taking away from my humanity? Am I building a cathedral or just another factory?
And maybe most importantly, what sparks of fire am I nurturing in my own life? And how can I share that with the people around me?
Those are some really powerful questions to think about as we all try to find our way between the algorithm and the abyss. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.